This video features a discussion among Rachel Maddow, Nicole Wallace, Chris Hayes, Eri Melber, and Lawrence O'Donnell, I hope I'm saying the names right, from MS Now, who share their reactions to former Special Counsel Jack Smith's testimony to Congress regarding his investigations into Donald Trump. I want you to take a listen, but before you do that, consider subscribing to this channel, like this video, share this video, because we are here to impeach Trump.
To my mind, if you only took away one thing from the hearing today, it was this next exchange between Jack Smith and a Vermont congresswoman named Becca Balint. It was an exchange about basically what it means to be Jack Smith right now in 2026, to have done the investigation that he did, to have found what he found, to have served your country by sticking to your guns, even when that meant the leader of the United States government and his party and his supporters would try to destroy you for it.
Trump has said that you, Mr. Smith, should be investigated and put in prison. He called you a disgrace to humanity, a radical left Marxist, a criminal. In fact, Trump has used the words deranged Jack Smith 185 times on Truth Social. How do you think that these statements have impacted you, your staff, and your investigation?
With respect to me, I think the statements are meant to intimidate me. I will not be intimidated. I think these statements are also made as a warning to others what will happen if they stand up. And I am, as I say, I'm not going to be intimidated. We did our work pursuant to department policy. We followed the facts and we followed the law. And that process resulted in proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed serious crimes. I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen because he's threatening me.
And Mr. Smith, do you believe that President Trump's Department of Justice will find some way to indict you?
I believe that they will do everything in their power to do that because they've been ordered to by the president.
Jack Smith, I will not be intimidated. I'm not going to pretend those serious crimes didn't happen just because he's threatening me. As I said before, I will not be intimidated. Nicole Wallace, what did you take from this hearing today?
Well, what I took from my own reaction was that this was so extraordinary. But before Trump destroyed the Department of Justice, there were hundreds of Jack Smiths inside the Department of Justice. He was the archetype of the kind of person who chose that life instead of, being a partner at Paul Weiss and having multiple houses and occasionally flying private. I mean, this is what DOJ was made of. So what I thought about was how successful Trump's been in moving the Overton window, but I watched this with a lump in my throat, thinking about, nostalgically, about what the department was. The other thing I thought of was he's the most senior Justice Department official to defend what we kind of shorthand as rank and file, but the people that have been purged from the Justice Department were the best of the best. The most senior prosecutors, the most senior FBI agents who have been pilloried reputationally, threatened legally, faced death threats, by and large, if they've been named and outed and smeared in the right-wing press. And they have hollowed out the Department of Justice. Merrick Garland hasn't defended those people. Lisa Monaco hasn't defended those people. Joe Biden hasn't defended those people. Today, Jack Smith, right after that clip you played, described the real danger in the threats and efforts to intimidate him to his team. And he really defended the integrity of the work they did. And I think some of what sinks in when you watch this is that we're all here today because this is extraordinary. We all know that this doesn't happen inside the Justice Department. No one says what he said today to the public in that Congress, to Pam Bondi or Todd Blanche or Emil Bobe. And if they did, if Danielle Sassoon or Liz Oyer or any of those people did, they've been asked to leave.
That's right. Which is the dark and terrible side of the Justice Department professional ethic that says if you are asked to do something unprofessional or wrong, you resign. We have seen people resigning like whole forests of them falling all at once. And what it means is that the Justice Department, as you say, doesn't have those folks in it anymore.
That's right. And what is so, I think, painful about this is not that just Jack Smith's work that he did on behalf of not a president, not a party, but on behalf of the country. Yeah. He worked for the country. He was a taxpayer-funded prosecutor who came out of a different post to do this extraordinary job at a point in time when there was literally nothing to be gained. And as he stated at the end, he faces threats and harm, and he's all but certain he will be indicted. They will attempt to prosecute him because Donald Trump wants them to. That not only did he not succeed in bringing a case he knew he could prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury, but he will be punished for it.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, This is, guys, extraordinary. Want to repeat what they have just discussed because this is important. Smith stated that despite Trump's threats and insults, including calling him, quote-unquote, deranged Jack Smith, 185 times on Truth Social, he would not pretend that serious crimes did not happen. Unbelievable. He believes, Jack Smith, the current Department of Justice will try to indict him because they have been ordered to by the president, and there is no doubt about that in my mind. Now, Nicole Wallace reflects on how Trump has, quote-unquote, destroyed the Department of Justice, leading to the departure of highly skilled prosecutors and FBI agents. What we have as a FBI chief of whatever, director, FBI's chief of director, Kash Patel, his name, is an unqualified person who is in the office just to serve Donald Trump. And that's what he's doing. But we are getting exposed of all of these people who are lying to us, who are covering for Donald Trump, whether it is the Epstein file or the January 6th insurrection.
Like Nicole, also felt like I was watching this human embodiment of all that's been lost, and all that is crucial and central to really the entire functioning of American democracy, like this kind of a person who's a serious, smart, capable person devoted to public service who is doing their work without fear or favor, which they really want to destroy. I mean, they're quite explicit about that, right? They want to turn it into the U.S. government into basically Tammany Hall with nukes. They want a complete machine that's also like the global superpower where like everyone has a job because you gave Donald Trump some money or you know him, right? And this is like the ultimate rebuke to them.
And what you do with your job is serve the machine.
Yeah, forget Tammany Hall also tried to do some good things.
Yes, that's right. You're right. Actually, you are actually correct. That Tammany Hall is actually
We're in Lauren's
superior.
defense. Tammany Hall.
That is actually an important and good point.
Some like pothole filling.
No, they actually did do it. The second thing, I mean, the other very lukewarm take I have is like, boy, it really, I mean, he was guilty as hell and it was a real mistake. We elected him again. The final thing I thought was just watching it, the sort of optics, take a step back, is like someone used this term that we're in the midst of a clicktatorship. This sense that everything they're doing, the Trump administration, is spectacle, this sort of spectacle of menace, that when an ICE officer actually shoots and kills an American citizen in her car, he has to move the cell phone from his hand to the other hand so he could keep recording as he shoots her because the generation of content is so important. Today we got reporting that when Charlie Kirk was killed, Kash Patel inside the FBI, the first thing he was concerned about was what he could tweet and coordinating with Dan Bongino about what he could tweet, that he wanted to tweet pictures from Windsor Castle with his girlfriend that actually would expose MI5 agents. This is all New York Times Magazine today. This obsession with spectacle. And here's Jack Smith as like the ultimate opposite of that, right? Like a sober, solemn, serious person facing down this kind of carnival of absurdity that has now become, again, and that's always been part of politics, hearings, as you will attest, right? They're always theatrical. Theatricality is part of politics. I have no problem with that. I talk for a living. But.
Okay, so before we go to the but and what he will say, Nicole Wallace, let's get back to her. She praised Smith for defending the integrity of his team's work, a defense that has been largely absent, from other senior DOJ officials like Merrick Garland and Lisa Monaco.
What is totally absent is any sense of seriousness or moral compass right now in the government we have. And here's this person who just feels like this archaeological find from another era.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, the aesthetic of it, his aestheticism, his stoicism is itself part of the message. Ari.
Jack?
Okay, guys, so this is really the time when all Americans need to stand up to defend Jack Smith and his work. He is doing it for us. He is doing it with honesty, integrity, and he's very, very upfront in terms of what he's doing. He is revealing everything that he's doing, and he doesn't have any fear facing those Republicans who are 100% corrupt.